Do you know that haters, time, faithfulness with diligence aligns you to your destiny? So today we have our guests here with us, Mr. Goodluck Uzoma. He's here to enlighten us on how haters, time, faithfulness with diligence aligns one to his destiny. So, Mr. Goodluck, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me to your show.
Thank you. So, can you really tell us how haters, time, faithfulness with diligence aligns one to his destiny in life?
Yes, I'll try to be brief with this. You know, we live in a world where people think that things happen out of the ordinary. But I'm here to let you know that things don't just happen out of the ordinary. I'm here to tell you that 100% of everything that happens, of every event that happens in your life has God's hand and a reason why it's happening to you. I'm going to use the story of Joseph in the Bible to illustrate and let you understand what I mean by haters. Time, faithfulness, and diligence helps to align one's life towards their destiny. In the Bible, the Bible told us that Joseph was the favored son of Jacob. And his brothers hated him for that.
Yeah.
He was the favored son. Jacob loved Joseph. And the Bible recorded that Joseph gave him a clothes of many colors. So his brothers hated him because he was favored by his father, Jacob. But that was not all. His brothers hated him also because of his word. And what was Joseph's word? Joseph's word was his talent. Joseph was regarded as someone who can interpret dream. He had the talent to interpret dream. So his brothers hated him because he was favored by their father, and they also hated him for his word being his talent. Sometimes some people feel bad that people hate them for no reason. But I'm here to let you know that there is something in you that they are seeing. There is a talent in you that they are seeing that made them to hate you. Now I'll be short with this. When Joseph's brothers were grazing the cattle, because Jacob had cattle, and his sons,
a lot of them.
Yes, and his sons take the cattle to the farm and they graze and all that. So one particular day, his father sent Joseph to go and check on his brothers. So getting there, on his way there, his brothers have already hated him. Getting there, his brothers plotted, they planned to kill Joseph. But one of them said, no, he's our brother. Let us throw him into the pit. And mind you, they were in the desert. They were in the wilderness. Throwing someone inside a pit in the wilderness is more or less killing that person. Because you don't have water, you don't have food.
Yeah.
So his brothers who hated him for his word, and who hated him because he was favored by his earthly father, plotted to kill him, and they threw him inside the pit. But Reuben had a change of heart and said, it's better we sell him to the Ishmaelites than to kill him. So Joseph was sold to the Ishmaelites and later sold to the Egyptians. Potiphar. But that was not the end of the story. That was not the end of the struggle of Joseph's story. Coming to Egypt, Potiphar's wife tried to lure Joseph to her bed. And Joseph declined. Because why? Joseph knew his purpose. Joseph knew his destiny. In the Bible, God revealed Joseph's destiny to him. He had the talent to interpret dreams. And inside there, God still showed him. God still revealed his destiny to him. And what was that? In one of Joseph's dreams, he dreamt that he was in a farm. The grain of the bundled grain, his own bundled grain, was standing firm, and his brothers' bundled grain were bowing down to his own bundled grain. Yeah. And his brothers were angered by his word, and they said, "Do you mean that we will bow down to you? Do you mean?" Imagine you now telling your senior brothers that you had a dream, and in your dream they were bowing down to you.
That sounds so crazy.
So they hated you for that.
Yeah.
The second dream Joseph had, and he told his father and also told his brothers. He told them that in his dream he saw the sun and the moon and 11 stars were bowing down to his own star. This even angered his father. And his father scolded him and asked him, "What do you mean?" So, but that's not where I want to get to. I want to get to the part of how his brothers' hatred aligned him with his destiny. So, coming to the part of Joseph being sold to the Egyptian, being sold to Potiphar. And Potiphar's wife wanted to lure Joseph into her bed. And Joseph declined because he knew himself. Many a times, people who don't know themselves, who don't know their purpose, who don't know their destiny in life, allow themselves to be lured into temptations that will push them and shift them away from their destiny.
That's right.
Joseph knew his purpose. Joseph knew his destiny. So when the temptation of Potiphar's wife came to push him away from his destiny, he had to decline it. He had to decline it. So what did Potiphar's wife do? She went and accused Joseph and told Potiphar that the servants you brought tried to rape me, tried to lure me into the bed. Potiphar heard it because in Egypt, Potiphar is regarded as the chief guard, kind of like a general.
Yeah.
Potiphar is like a chief guard in Egypt. So he had power in Egypt. So he ordered for Joseph to be thrown into the prison. You see the struggle?
Yeah.
You see the struggle of Joseph being hated by his brothers, being thrown into the pits, being sold to the Ishmaelites.
That was an obvious hatred.
Being sold to the Egyptians. Now being tempted by Potiphar's wife that landed into prison. So when all these things were happening, to Joseph, let's think about it. This kind of struggle is not an easy struggle. Being hated by your brothers.
I can imagine.
Being thrown into the pit
by your own blood
by your
brothers.
own brothers. Being thrown into prison because of your brother sold you. But we never had any account in the Bible where Joseph grumbled during all this process. No. We didn't have any account in the Bible where Joseph, there was no, because let's put ourselves in Joseph's shoe. 11 brothers trying to put you inside the pit. There was no account of you struggling. There was no account of you grumbling. There was no account of Joseph saying, Why are you people putting me in the pit?
Oh.
There was no account of Joseph trying to run away
I can imagine.
from his brother.
Yeah.
That's where faithfulness comes in.
Oh.
Many people are passing through struggles in life with grumble. Many people are passing through hardship. Many people are in the pits right now. Many people are in the prison right now. Many people are in problems. I don't care your problem. I don't care your situation. All I care about is, are you faithful with them?
Okay, wait. I think I have a question with what you said now. Like, in the midst of all the storms that was evolving around Joseph, he was still faithful.
He was still calm and faithful because he knew his destiny. If you know your destiny and purpose in life, you will not grumble to situations or challenges that are trying to set you back. Rather, you'll be faithful when the storm comes.
Because why I ask this question is this: a random man being in a hectic situation, obviously, I think it's natural. I think the person should feel so less of himself. He should be so worried. So I'm asking, does it mean that when God revealed Joseph's destiny to him in the dream, did God as well orchestrated and made it known to him that he will pass through all these phases of his life, that gave him that kind of confidence to be faithful?
No. God did not tell Joseph or show Joseph the struggles that will lead to his destiny. He only showed him his destiny.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Joseph being faithful through the process of his struggle that aligned him to his destiny was Joseph being himself, realizing his purpose and his destiny. If you know your purpose and destiny, if you know many people are walking through, see, some people are existing in life. They are not living. They are existing. There is more to life than just existing. If you know your identity as a man, if you know your identity as a human being, if you know your creator, if you know who you are, automatically you know your purpose. You will not grumble to any situation you find yourself. You will not murmur. Rather, you will be faithful because you know where you are heading to. You understand? You know where you are heading to. So Joseph knew where he was heading to, being his destiny. So the process that leads to his destiny it has no way for him to grumble about. You understand? So many people grumble in their situation. You never get money, you don't have money, you are grumbling. Rather than being faithful and diligent to know the solution to your problem. Why dwell in depression? Why dwell in frustration? Why dwell in problems when you can dwell in positive solutions to your problem? Why dwell in negativity? If that Joseph was dwelling in negativity, if that Joseph was cursing God, why is my brothers doing this to me? Why are my brothers doing this to me? I don't think his destiny will be actualized. So, my brother, that's it for faithfulness.
Okay.
Joseph's brothers hated him for his talent, for his word, being favored by his father. And he passed through all the struggles of the pit, down to the prison. That's being faithful. He never grumbled. When Joseph was in the prison, two people were in the prison with him, a butler and a baker. A butler and a baker. The butler had a dream, and the baker too had a dream, and they were troubled by their dream. To let you know how important dream was back then. That whenever you have a dream, you feel troubled about it. You need to know the
very curious.
Yes, the reason to your dream. Not nowadays that People have dreams and they forget about their dreams. People have dreams
People
and
take it for granted. Don't
they
take
take
it
it for
serious.
granted. They think it's just a dream. God, who created man and made it possible that when you are asleep, you have dreams. He's not a stupid God. He has a reason for putting in a dream when you sleep, when you're at rest. You understand? So the butler had a dream. And what was the butler's dream? The butler's dream, in his head, there were 3 branches growing on his head. And those 3 branches, there were fruits on the branches, on the vine, grapes. And when they were in the prison, they asked, Joseph told them that he can interpret dreams.
Oh.
That brings me to diligence.
Diligence, yes.
Diligence is hard work. Doing what you know you are good at.
Just like advertising yourself.
Yes, consistently. Do you know that if it was maybe some other person who have passed through the struggles that Joseph is passing through, being in the prison, let's just assume that you're in the prison, someone had a dream.
Yeah.
If Joseph was not still diligent with his talent, if Joseph was not still diligent with his purpose, he would just say, is it not the same dream that I told my father and my brother that landed me in this prison? Is it not this same dream?
He would easily give up.
Yes, is it not this same dream that that God gave me? Is it not this same talent that God gave me that I told my parents and my brothers that landed me in the pit and then in this prison? I beg, you should carry your dream. I'm not going to interpret any dream before I land into another trouble. He didn't do that. He was still diligent with his talent. In as much as he passed through struggles because of this same talent, he was still diligent and he asked the butler about his dream and he interpreted it and told that the 3 branches represented 3 days and the vine, the grapes, represented that in 3 days' time he will be reinstated as the butler and his position will be given back to him. That the king, Pharaoh, will give him back his position as the butler. Hearing this, the butler hearing this, he was overwhelmed and happy. Now the baker
Was so curious.
Was curious and wanted to know
Yeah,
the meaning of his own dream. I asked Joseph. He told Joseph, see my own dream. And in the baker's dream, he had 3 baskets. And in those 3 baskets we had bread.
Yeah.
And birds were eating on the bread in the baskets.
Ooh.
The 3 baskets, birds were eating on bread. So Joseph interpreted it as saying, 3 days' time, the king will hang you, and birds will feed on your body. Imagine you being told that in 3 days you will die.
That's crazy.
But that's not my point. My point comes with the butler. After 3 days, the butler was reinstated. He was released and reinstated, and his position was given back to him by the king. But before leaving the prison, Joseph told him, please, my friend, in 3 days' time, I've told you, let's just imagine being in a prison and you interpreted someone's dream and it's happened exactly the way you interpret, and you know it will happen. So knowing that the butler will be released, he pleaded. Joseph pleaded.
Prior time.
Joseph pleaded with the butler and told the butler, if you are released, please tell the king I was accused. That I'm here out of false accusation. Please, I need to be released. He pleaded with the butler. The butler, let's remember, this is a 3 days interval. This is a 3 days interval. The butler assured him that he will remember him. But on the 3rd day, the butler left the prison and forgot about Joseph. Time.
Whoa.
That brings me to time.
Whoa.
Many a times people are faithful, hardworking, and they want their blessing to start with their own time. Today I'm telling you that your time is not your time, but God's time is your time. God made the butler to forget Joseph. It's a 3 days interval. But the butler forgot Joseph for 2 years.
I can imagine.
God made the butler to forget Joseph. Why? Because it was not yet Joseph's time. Imagine that the butler remembered Joseph and Joseph was released. What would have been the fate of Joseph? It's either Joseph will go back to his family in Israel, or he will wander and leave Egypt.
Yeah, so after everything, the butler forgot about the intercession. Joseph asked, pleaded to speak on his behalf.
It was not intentional, it was God's doing.
Okay.
Because if it was not God's doing, Joseph's destiny will not be actualized. The butler needed to forget Joseph.
According to God's plan.
According to God's time.
Okay.
It was not yet time. He forgot Joseph for 2 good years. Imagine forgetting someone who interpreted that you will be released. You didn't even, there was no account of him visiting Joseph for 2 good years. But after 2 years, because if that Joseph left the prison, there wouldn't have been any dream for Joseph to interpret. Let's remember that the Pharaoh, the king, had a dream that led to Joseph being released. He had a dream. And that dream was after 2 years.
And Joseph was still in the prison.
Joseph was still in the prison
for 2 years.
For 2 years. And when the king, Pharaoh, had the dream of 7 lean cows and 7 fat cows, he was troubled and needed answer to his dream. He needed answers to his dream. And the butler remembered. God made the butler to remember. And he said, my king, do you remember when I was in the prison? There was this guy named Joseph. He interpreted my dream and told me that you will release me after 3 days. And it happened the same way he said it. Exactly the way he said it. And the baker too, he told the baker, I'm just trying to put myself in the scenario, like how
I can imagine that.
You understand? And you would have the baker too had a dream, and this guy interpreted the dream, and it happened exactly. And what did the king say? Fetch me Joseph. That was it. That was Joseph's time. Fetch me Joseph.
That was the end of the struggle.
When is your time? People that don't even know your name
will recommend you.
Will ask for your name.
Hey.
When is your time?
Deep.
Where your name will be mentioned. Your name will be mentioned in places of opportunity that you did not even think of. So many people in this our age try to move with their own time. I'm here to tell you that you need to move with God's time. And you need to understand that haters in your life are designed to align you with your destiny. Imagine that Joseph's brothers didn't hate him. That means he would have been happy with his family.
And still remain at the same spot.
Joseph was made the second in charge of Egypt. Because when the king asked for Joseph, and Joseph came and interpreted the king's dream to him and told him that the 7 lean cows means 7 years of famine, scarcity of food, and the 7 fat cows represented the supply of food. And he told him that and the king asked him, how are we going to solve this? And he told him that we need to put someone who can manage the crops of the kingdom, that's Egypt.
Yeah.
So that during the 7 years of famine, Egypt will have surplus of food to
them.
sustain them and even sell to their neighboring countries. And the king said, who best can I give this position? If not you, the person that saw it.
Yeah.
That was all. Immediately the king brought his royal seal and gave it to Joseph. And wore it. Do you know what it means for a king to bring a royal seal?
That is something top notch.
Do you know what it means to move from the prison to the second in charge, just like that? But it didn't happen overnight. When you listen to the story, you think that it happened. It didn't happen. He passed through the hatred of his brothers. He passed through the pit. He passed through being sold as a slave. He passed through the temptation of Potiphar's wife. He passed through the prison. He passed through the butler forgetting him for 2 good years.
Seasons.
Before his time was ready and his destiny was actualized.
That's good. Well, I have this question that I want to ask. So God orchestrating haters to align you, to help align you to the fulfillment of your destiny. So those haters are human beings. Now, and my question is this: what will be the punishment of those haters? Will God punish them, or will God forgive them because He has pleased them already to be your stepping stone to your destiny?
I can't say how God feels like punishing haters. I can't say their judgments. I cannot be the one to judge how they will be punished. But all I know is that I feel happy when I'm being hated.
Because you know yourself. You know you carry something.
I know that you are hating me for a reason. People need to start being happy on their way creating enemies. They need to start they need to accept haters as a good sign. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So whenever you encounter haters, just know that there is something good about to happen in your life. So let us not go too far with the point. Joseph was made the second in charge of Egypt, and his destiny
was fulfilled.
Now, his brothers came to Egypt. They couldn't recognize him, but he recognized them. And they bowed down to him.
As destiny fulfilled.
The same the same dream
came to manifestation. That is so powerful.
So my brother, we have it now that I've let it know to you that haters, with God's timing, faithfulness, and diligence, aligns one to their destiny.
Wow. I have learned a whole lot from this, and the story of Joseph alone have already illustrated and given us a powerful understanding on this topic. So obviously, haters, time, faithfulness with diligence truly aligns one to their destiny. And that entails that haters are angels in disguise that God uses to push one to his destiny. Thank you so much for having us today, Reality with Josh. And please, I want you to go to our channels, hit the like button, comment, share, so that every one of us can get this information. So you can also get a future notification of our posts. Thank you so much, and God bless you.